We trust our memories because they feel like direct connections to the past. When you recall a face or a conversation, the mental image feels like a reliable record of what occurred. It's common to imagine the brain as a biological hard drive, faithfully storing every perfect day and painful moment in a permanent digital-style archive. But memory does not function as a recording. Your brain stores experiences as scattered fragments rather than whole events. Every time you recall an event, your brain has to rebuild it. This process of reconstruction means that the act of remembering can quietly change the content of the memory itself. Because the record changes every time it's accessed, the narrative of our lives remains in a state of constant revision. When you try to remember something, you aren't playing back a saved file. You are initiating a real-time assembly process. Your brain gathers disconnected fragments of sensory data, smells, sounds, or visual snapshots, and attempts to organize them into a coherent scene. Since these stored fragments are often incomplete, the brain must fill the gaps to create a memory that feels logical and continuous. To fill these gaps, the brain uses your current expectations, your existing beliefs, and information you may have learned long after the event took place. As a result, small details vanish. A person's expression might be replaced with a different one, and words that were never actually spoken can become part of the new record. Every rebuilt memory is a hybrid, a mix of historical data and modern assumptions. Your current emotional state acts as a primary filter for how these memories are assembled. If you feel anxious while remembering, your brain is more likely to reconstruct the event to focus on danger, embarrassment, or signs of failure. If you feel happy, that same event may be rebuilt to appear warmer and less threatening than it originally was. This explains why two people can experience the same moment but later recall different versions of it. Neither person is lying. Their brains simply reconstructed the experience through different emotional lenses. This editing process happens without us noticing because the brain prioritizes coherence over accuracy. Because the final reconstructed memory feels familiar, the brain accepts it as the original factual truth. In this way, our perception of the past is shaped by how we feel in the present. These individual changes to our memories eventually influence our broader sense of identity. Our confidence, our fears, and our relationships are informed by the stories our brains continue to rewrite. When we look back to define who we are rarely accessing the original version of our past. Instead, we are accessing the latest version of our history, one that has been edited and updated by our most recent thoughts and feelings. Deep within the mind, the brain functions as an editor, revising our personal history as we move through life. Since the records of our lives are constantly being updated, the person we were yesterday is not quite the person we are today. We are a living narrative, perpetually being rewritten.